Hi everyone, I'm here to showcase our new storm functionality. In this new functionality, we did some really cool things around automations. So I wanted to highlight the cool things that you can now do. So I'm logged into LettrLabs, and if I go under here under automations, I'm going to click on automations, and I'm going to go through the process of setting up a new storm. And because hurricane season is almost upon us, I'm actually going to create this specific example around a windstorm. But the same method would hold true for any type of hail as well. So I'm going to actually click on this where it says new storm or new automation, and I'm going to click on the hail trace automation. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to test this. I'm going to name this as Monica Test, but you can name it as anything. A lot of people will do it based on maybe seasonality. So hurricane season 2025, however you want to do it, it's totally yours. It's customizable for you. I'm going to establish my service area, and I am going to put this around in Texas around the Gulf. So we're specifically going to go into like Houston. Now, you have a couple of ways to do this. You can do a radius. You can also do a polygon. Radius is essentially you say, like, if you click on Houston as a pin, you can do like 25 miles outside of Houston. Let's say I want to be a little bit more targeted. So I'm actually going to do a polygon here because I want to define my service area a little bit more. So I'm going to click on this area. The polygon is going to show up. And then I'm going to start working with the polygon now. So let's say for what I'm doing, I have the majority of Houston as my service area. And I'm setting this as pretty big because with our new features inside of our automations, if you set your service areas bigger, you can now approve storms individually to target what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, this is perfect. And I'm going to close this out. And it's going to actually now take me to where the service area is established. So we can now see this is what it looks like. What I'm then going to do is pick a card template, and let's imagine this template that I have uploaded here is specifically for hurricane season. So let's use that there. And then if we go here, here's where you're going to see some of the newer functionality within a automation. So I'm going to target for wind, and let's say the wind that I want to target is 75 to like 120. I'm going to go single family. This is what we recommend for every use case here, but you can also do multifamily. It's up to you. And we actually do suggest homeowners. If we wanted to, I'm going to do max for each storm because 1,000, but you can do up to 50,000, totally up to you. Now, here's the newer settings that we have that are advanced. So under map type, I'm going to hover over this information so you can see. Also, let me just move my face. So we have new ways for us to like look at maps to help you see this service area or where the storms are actually hitting. So we recommend usually going for the meteorologist and the algorithm map via hail trace because this is going to give you like the largest reach. And the reason why this is valuable is because with our automation now, and you'll see it later in the experience, we allow you to, if you want, approve the storms and actually set the amount of direct mail that you want to send out for each storm. So in my case, because I'm looking for the largest reach, this is going to work best for my use case because I know that when a storm hits, I'm going to have to approve it anyways. The other way that you can do it is what we call the meteorologist map. And this is more based on like accuracy. These are hand drawn by hail trace meteorologist. And the one thing that this is good at is it actually matches what's hitting in that specific area. Keep in mind though, this is more conservative. So it would be smaller areas that the storm would like impact. And for me, in my use case, that's not the one I want to go through. I want to go for the largest reach because I know I have the approval process. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it as that. What you can also define the storm automation period. So like, let's say you have specifics that this is only going to run from like September 1st through August 1st. You can then actually do these date range if you'd like. For me, I'm leaving it as open because, again, I'm going to have the approval on, so I don't really need to dictate this, but you can totally do that if you want as well. Cool new functionality where you're doing more of a time segment for these automations. Resending is the same we've had in the past. I'm just going to resend and do it for 4 weeks. Essentially, this says if multiple storms are hitting in a specific area, we're only going to send to these specific people once every 4 weeks. Now, for the part that's like really exciting. So you can see in this specific area, these are the available structures that meet my single family homeowner. What dictates will actually go out to these people, these 1.3 million, is going to be the actual the capacity of the storm. So I'm going to leave that as is, and I'm going to go in, and this is the part where this is one of the newer parts, which I think is really good functionality, and we've heard a lot of good feedback on it, but the approval piece. Essentially, this is saying before we send out any direct mail, I want Monica, who is me, to be emailed to approve the storm. So I'm going to leave that on because I want to go through and see what's happening with these storms. Keep in mind, if it is like a storm season and you have these set to be like kind of broad parameters, just like we have here under advanced settings, and then with the actual wind speed, you will get a lot of notifications if the areas are very stormy. And you'll see that in a storm that I created previously when I show you where you can see all of the storms. So what I'm going to do is I just need to activate this storm. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enable storm. It's going to tell me based on this 1,000 card, this is the max amount you're going to spend. That's totally okay and awesome. I'm going to hit confirm. So what'll happen is this will go live. You'll see it go live here. You can see it active. If you ever need to pause it, you can just drop down and pause it here. Now, if there's ever a storm in my area that meets the criteria, what's going to happen now is I'm going to get an email. So if I go into my email, this will be an example of what the email will look like. This email is based on a previous storm that I had set up this automation for. So this one was done for hail. So that's why you'll see the storm size is focused on hail. What you can do here is you can then go into review storm and go into my storms. If I click on review storm, it should take me to the review storms area. So I may lose the video if I click it. So I'm just actually going to go back into LettrLabs and show you where you can see these storms as well. So on the left-hand side under automations, we have a My Storms area. Now in this My Storms area, you will see all of the storms that fit your criteria for your service area and the criteria for the storm that you set up. So you can see here, it looks like this one is, this was a storm that was, I said I wanted hail from 1 inch to 1.7, not 5 inch, and it breaks down the different structures that you can like target. So this will break down all of the information for you at a glance. And if you know these storms are already hitting and you're like, yes, go ahead and send, you can actually just automatically hit approve and direct mail will go out. If you're looking at some of these and they're like, oh, let's take a look at this. Let's look at this test that I did right now. And rather than actually going in and hitting approve, let's say you want to just look at it. So you're going to click refine. What this will do, and this is new functionality, is going to pull up the storm criteria that you originally set up through the automation and also give you a real-time view of what it looks like for the storm itself. So it looks like for this storm that hit, we said it was going to be 75 through 120, and it's just showing us that this storm is hitting, but it's maybe lower to 60 miles an hour. So it's giving you the ability to now go in and say, do I want to like actually move my criteria down and target this storm? Now, let's say you do. Because for whatever reason, this storm is doing more damage than you imagine it would be. So if you lower this down, you can now see that these are the available areas that are meeting the criteria. So if you scroll down, you'll see this is what you set up. Now you'll be able to see the area that was hit, which is what I originally mapped out to be. And then you'll also be able to see in the green, these are like the hardest hit. Right. So if you scroll down, you can see that at 65 miles an hour, we are doing 1,000 and we're going to send out 1,000 direct mail pieces to this criteria here, where we can see the majority of the available storm hit. So there's one. I'll give you another example too. And if you're like, yes, let's do it, you just go ahead and click approve. And then all of these 1,000 people will get this direct mail piece because they had storm that hit in their area that was 65 miles or below. So, or 65 miles, I should say. Let's go back and let's find another one just to give you another example. So let's do another storm one for wind. So if I go in here and refine, same kind of thing is you'll see all of the stuff you set up in the automation, which will show up first. But the new piece that that did not show up in the past is you can now see, this is how we set up our storm. So I can show there's 0 people here. But if I lower it down, to be the 60 to 75, I can see that this is the amount of people that were affected by this amount of wind. Still meeting the same criteria. So you can now see, right? This is the service area is in the red. The green is the selected regions, and that's where like the storm hit. If you scroll down, you'll then be able to see, okay, because we dictated this is 1,000, we're gonna send 1,000 direct mail pieces out to people that were affected with this 60-mile-an-hour storm. You just hit approve. Once you hit approve, all of the direct mail will go to those specific areas. So I just wanted to highlight and showcase this newer area under My Storms, and how you will approve, skip, or refine these in this area now. Let us know if you have any questions. We would be more than happy to help, but wanted to showcase these new and fun functionalities that we created for you. Thank you so much.